what breed?
She's a bird beetle.
Oh man, aren't you in trouble?
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's about 11 weeks.
Oh, she's
Good girl.
so darn cute.
Just throw money. That's all she needs. A little sign. Just throw money.
Yeah, cheese is it for her.
Wow, what a cutie.
You gotta eat that. There you go.
Log
Good
food.
job. Nice
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, I would. Oh, yeah, it's like.
So she'll get to be a good
She'll be a good. Rose, sit. Yes. Down. Yes. Stand. Yes. Good girl. Okay. Good girl. Rose, sit. Yes. Down. Yes. Stand. Yes. Good girl. Well done. Good girl. So good. Rose, leave it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. Good girl. Okay. Rose, watch me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, good girl. All done. Good job. Girl, sit. Stay. Yes. Stay. Yes. Stay. Yes. Stay. Yes. Stay. Yes, good girl. All done. Great job. Good girl. Rose, bring it up. Yes, good girl. Rose, go get it. Yes, good girl. Rose, stay. Yes. Stay. Yes. Stay. Yes. Stay. Yes. Stay. Other. Girl, stay. Yes. Good girl. Other. Good job. Good girl. Rose, stay. Yes. Rose, stay. Yes. Rose, stay. Yes. Rose, stay. Yes, good girl. All done. Good. Yes, good girl. Yes. 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 Oh, yes. Yes. Girl. Yes.
So adorable. Extra pineapple.
Yes. Yes. Good girl. All done. Great job. We're going to show you how Rose does for our off-leash hikes. Ready, Rose? Let's go. Good girl. So I always start out with a high rate of reinforcement, rewarding them every time they check in. And then as I see that they're staying nice and close, I can start to lower that rate of reinforcement and reward less often. So what I'm aiming for is I want her to go off and sniff and explore a little bit. And then here and there, she should be checking in for a treat just like that. So I'm aiming to find the sweet spot between rewarding enough so that she will check in here and there, but not so much that she never leaves my side. So just like earlier where she was going off and sniffing and exploring and checking in here and there, that's exactly what I'm aiming for. Good girl. Now, as we're feeding the treats, it's important to remember that we don't just want to go from giving lots of treats to just stopping. We're going to have to switch it up with affection and praise sometimes, and the other times treats. And what we're pretty much doing is a variable rate of reinforcement. So sometimes treats, sometimes not. And also switching up what we give her so that we do continue to acknowledge the behavior even if we're not giving treats every time. And that's a common mistake a lot of people make, is they assume once they've got the behavior and the dog's doing it, that the dog should just do it and they don't need to reinforce it anymore. There needs to be some schedule of reinforcement so that it's worth doing. If we stop rewarding altogether, what the dog's learning is that it doesn't work to get anymore, and they're going to stop offering that behavior. Now, sometimes we do this on purpose for things that we don't like. So things like jumping up for attention or barking at us for attention, or any annoying kind of demanding behaviors that we don't like. We walk away from them and we ignore those behaviors because we want them to learn it doesn't work and we want them to give up on it. But that's not what we want to see for a behavior like checking in on hikes. We want to reinforce it enough to keep them doing it so that that behavior continues into adulthood. Out here, I'm mostly just using kibble for Rose. Because we've worked together a lot in this environment, it's really easy for her to make the choice to check in and work with me. So I'm not using lots of high value stuff. But anytime you go somewhere new where there's more exciting sights and smells and distractions, you'll need to switch it up with some higher value treats. So things like chicken, hot dog, cheese, maybe even some chopped up steak. The idea is you want your best value treat to trump anything they're finding in the environment so that whenever you ask them to do something, they're happily going to do it, expecting to get the best outcome from you. Now, as we're building up this reinforcement history that all the best stuff comes from us, you'll want to let your puppy drag a long line to prevent them from running off and self-rewarding in the environment. So what I mean by that is if I go somewhere new and she runs off chasing birds and squirrels or running up to strangers and saying hi, that's what she's going to find reinforcing. So that's what she'll always do whenever she gets into that environment. So what we have to do to prevent having that happen is start her out with a long line so that we can restrict her access to those things while we jackpot her for good leave-its and recalls and checking in until it seems like she's reliably responding to all of our cues, and then we can think about fading that long line as we get success. Now keep in mind, she is still a young puppy. She's going to go through lots of stages where she tests the rules. So anytime it does seem like she's not listening as well, go back to using that long line, go back to building up more reinforcement history for doing all the stuff we want her to do until she's doing it more reliably, and then you can fade it again as she gets success. Good girl. All done. Go play. I've hidden on Rose. We're going to do an out-of-sight recall. Rose, come! Good job. Yes, good girl. All done. Go play. So it's not just about food. It's also about coming out and playing fun games with your dog so that you're really fun and exciting to work with. One of the games we play lots of is hide and go seek. I hide on them. I call them. When they come racing in, I give them a really good treat, and then I send them to go play. Sending them to go play is a really important part of the equation because we don't want them to learn that the recall is what's going to end the fun. And this is a common mistake that a lot of puppy owners make, is they use the recall before they leave fun places, and then the dogs start to clue in that the recall is going to end the fun, so they resist coming when called because they don't want the fun to stop. So what we have to do to prevent having that happen is do lots of recalls that we can back up with a go play so the game keeps going. And if it actually is time to leave somewhere fun, what I recommend is call them and leash them, give them a good treat, and then say go play and let them keep playing while they drag their leash for a little bit so that they get to keep having fun. And then we can just say let's go or some other cue after they've forgotten about that recall, so they're not associating that recall is what ended the fun. Along the same lines, don't use recall to do anything your puppy might not like. So I don't use the word come to get them into the bath or to do their nails or grooming or anything I think they might be uncertain about. So this is another thing I see people do is they'll call the dog to come to get them to go through doorways that they're nervous about or across certain surfaces that they seem uncertain about. Doing that teaches them that we call them to do things that are scary, and that's going to be a negative association. We want the association to be like hearing the music of the ice cream truck, where it always predicts a special treat. Nothing bad ever happens. That way they don't even think twice about it. They come racing expecting their special treat, and then we say go play and the fun keeps happening. Rose is headed up ahead. I'm going to change directions and let her know with the this way cue. Rose, this way! Good girl. Now realistically, the reward for this way does not always have to be a food reward. It really is just a cue to follow, and going and having fun in a different direction could be the reinforcement for the this way cue. But if they turn on a dime and come racing in like she just did, I do like to give a food reward to encourage a nice fast response like that in the future. Good girl, Rose. All done. Go play.